And new today, U.S. military officials weighing whether to send special forces into Ukraine's capital to protect diplomats at the recently reopened American embassy there. Washington correspondent Evan Lambert is live for us. And Evan, protecting the embassy in Kyiv might seem like a no-brainer, but it's an active war zone, so the decision is more complicated than that.
Well, Rudabeh, the State Department does have its own diplomatic security, but sending in special forces, that would require a balance between protecting U.S. officials and appearing to escalate tensions there. The Pentagon's top officials confirming reports today there are early discussions about sending U.S. troops to Ukraine to help guard the U.S. embassy in Kyiv. But Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, says it's not necessarily imminent.
Some of the things that may have been out there in the media, those are planning efforts that are underway at a relatively low level, have not yet made it into the Secretary or myself, for that matter, for refinement of courses of action and what's needed. At the end of the day, any reintroduction of U.S. forces into Ukraine would require a presidential decision. So we're a ways away from anything like that.
The U.S. Embassy in Ukraine's capital reopened Wednesday after a 3-month closure. A small number of diplomatic staff watching the U.S. flag rise there outside the diplomatic mission. Marines guard American embassies across the world, but sending military special forces to augment State Department security could be seen as at odds with repeated promises by President Biden not to send U.S. military personnel into Ukraine amid Russia's war.
Let me be clear. Our forces are not engaged and will not engage in the conflict with Russian forces in Ukraine.
Video shows Ukrainian troops appearing to help guard Canada's embassy in Kyiv. Other countries besides the U.S. have recently reopened embassies as relative calm and safety return to the capital. Russia, meanwhile, focused its efforts on the embattled Donbas region in the country's east. And Rudabeh, according to the Wall Street Journal, who first reported these plans about possible special forces coming in, they have been used in a limited role in the past when embassy officials, when the embassy was closed, went back into Kyiv to commemorate a holiday in May. Rudabeh?
Evan, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.